Alamo Music started in 1929. That makes this year our 95th anniversary, and to celebrate it, we partnered with Martin to look back in their records and create some truly unique 1929 guitars. We're going to tell you all about it, so stick around. Hey, you're watching Alamo Music TV. My name's Chris McKee.
I'm Cooper Greenberg.
We're here with Alamo Music in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, like our videos. And if you want to support the channel, you can visit our spring store link below for custom swag and check out our podcast, the Fretboard Confessional, wherever you get your podcasts. So as I said at the onset, we as a company are 95 years old this year. Not us. We weren't here in 1929. I arrived in 1939. No, I'm just kidding.
Classic.
Yeah. So
still pre-war.
Pre-war.
I guess.
Yeah. Thank you. So Alamo Music is the oldest music store in Texas. It has a long and storied history, and we wanted to really celebrate this year. And part of doing that celebration was to partner with Martin Guitars and create some really unique custom shop instruments. Now, we're a huge fan of their Authentics, but Cooper worked with the custom shop with Jimmy, right?
With Jimmy
Mr. Kleintop.
The man himself.
To unearth some things from that era of Martin and really create something that you can't find anywhere else. And this is the result. They are amazing.
Yeah, so this is as close as we could possibly get to recreating a 1929 OM-28, which was the first year of the OM-28.
Nice.
Yeah, which is one of my favorites ever. I think it's a lot of people's favorite, but it's just cool because it's a guitar that we love. It's a guitar that stands the test of time till today.
Like Alamo Music, it's just a classic that keeps on going.
It's a classic that keeps on going. OM-28, obviously, many people dig it, but in 1929, obviously there were some different specs that came on that guitar. You can start picking out some of them. So this is kind of our Alamo authentic, very, very limited run of a couple two-spec 1929 OM-28s.
How many?
We got 5 of these total. I think we have 3 right now. And we haven't even gotten to do the video yet, but they popped up on the website. We've gotten to people asking about them. I wanted to wait till we had more than one to show off. But yeah, I mean, let's go through the specs. So
it's an OM for Martin.
OM for Martin.
And it's old.
That's all you need.
That's the video.
Also, I will say that this is not an aged model.
No.
Because I think it's cooler to be like, ideally, if you were alive in 29, you went to go buy an OM-28, what would it be like?
Be like this.
Be like this. So,
be new.
Adirondack top, Adirondack bracing, full vintage hide glue construction. Brazilian ain't around anymore. I mean, it is, but you can't use it. So the next best thing would be some really nice Guatemalan.
Look at that. Look, it's off-gassing too.
Yeah, I mean, it's nitro, you know?
Full nitro, thin nitro.
Yeah, this is a thin finish guitar, which I did on my custom shop. I like it. I think it's cool. You see that on the Authentics. I like the thin finish. Mm-hmm. You know, just a little more breathing room, I guess, you know? And it will age nicely.
Yeah, there's less on the guitar. The guitar is more resin as a result, and it will do what it's supposed to do from a thin nitro standpoint as you play the guitar.
If you've seen any of our other customs, you know that we've been going for wood binding on all of them. This one doesn't have it because
that's not what it originally had.
Yeah, it wouldn't have that. So got the antique white binding, herringbone purfling, pyramid bridge.
Pyramid bridge with the long saddle.
Long saddle. And
bone.
Yeah, bone pins. Obviously ebony on the fingerboard and the bridge. Short diamonds and squares because that's what was on there. Mm-hmm. Now, up on the headstock.
No logo.
No logo. Interestingly enough, we got that 1919 0030, also right. No logo. And I had never really seen it on a guitar. I had just, you know, obviously was told, well, in 29 we wouldn't have had the logo on there. No logo on the headstock. There's a stamp on the back, mm-hmm. which you'll see in, you know, some Martin guitars, but that's what it would have been like. And then you got some Waverly Banjo tuners to complete the 1929 goodness. Ivoroid buttons.
You know, I've always felt like they didn't need a logo back then because nobody else was making guitars like this. So yeah. You knew if you saw one that it was a Martin.
Yeah.
And then they just had their stamp on the back and their stamp on the side. Very cool. I dig the banjo tuners. So we've both been to the guitar factory, the Martin factory, in Nazareth, and in their museum they have I want to say it's like a 40s era OM-42 Deluxe or something like that, or 45 Deluxe, and it's got banjo tuners. And I've always just found that to be the coolest thing. These are pretty neat, actually, to tune up on this guitar and kind of play.
Yeah, if you get one of these, don't worry when you try to tune it the way that you think it should go.
It'll be wrong.
It'll be wrong. But it's cool. It's something very interesting. And, Waverly's, they're Waverly's.
They're Waverly's.
So
genuine mahog on the neck.
Got that hog with a nice little veloute action,
Nice veloute. What's the neck profile on this?
So the neck profile, which is similar on like some of the Authentics, it's like the 30 style V.
It's a soft V.
Really soft.
Very, very comfortable. Beautiful ebony fingerboard. It's really nice. Do you remember what the nut width is?
I think it's 1 3/4.
It feels like it. It
Yeah.
feels pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
Did you do truss rods in these?
So that's the thing.
That's the one difference, right?
Yeah. If you're buying Authentics, and if you're an authentic collector, they don't put truss rods in them. These do have an adjustable truss rod.
And there's precedent for that because they have the custom shop versions of some of those.
Yeah.
Like they have an authentic 0028 from the 30s, I think it is.
Yeah.
That has a truss rod in there.
Which, honestly, I don't mind that the Authentics don't have the truss rod like the ones that we've gotten in. They're built well.
Mm-hmm.
You can still deal with it. But that's been one thing that I've seen a lot of people kind of shy away from. So
because
there is a truss rod.
It's really, and for me, like you, I'm not concerned with the longevity of the instrument. You just lose some adjustability, really.
Yeah.
So if you want to kind of change string gauges, that kind of thing, it's nice to have. So it's a cool feature to have these really just about as close you could possibly get them, but add that one real modern improvement that have been made to guitars over the years.
And it was cool, like when we were talking about these, Jimmy was even like, "Oh, I know exactly the pickguard cut to use for,
Yeah, so talk about that because it's different than your traditional OM pickguard that we know about today. It's just little nuance.
He just made a little note in there that because obviously they've been around. There's been different pickguard shapes and sizes, so it was cool to get some knowledge from the Martin guys because they could go back and see the specs that were actually on those. They've played them. They're in the museum. Also, I got to give a shout out to Taylor from Edmund Music because he also geeked out about this at NAMM like 2 years ago with me, and he was like, "Oh, you gotta do, no logo."
No logo.
All right. Yeah.
Well, and a lot of things that you did a custom Martin.
Yeah.
And we talked about a lot of the same things. It's like the formula of what you would do under the hood to really make it a better instrument. And golden era bracing with a thin finish and hide glue construction and a long saddle are some of the boxes I start checking.
Yeah.
What's neat, as we're sitting here before we start rolling, just looking inside, like the cloth reinforcement side strips and all of these things that really are from yesteryear, to me, add up to make this really a special instrument, and I think even more special because of what it's commemorating for us, and the fact that Martin doesn't make anything like this right now.
Yeah.
So it's pretty neat.
It's very neat.
They sound amazing.
As some of you have found out within the last few months, Chris and I go on Reddit. And we're on the Martin subreddit. And
some of you now know our usernames.
I found out yours yesterday. Yeah.
Did mine surprise you?
Yeah, dude, I would have never guessed that ever. Obviously, mine didn't because it's just my name.
It's your name.
But I asked a while back, just getting thoughts. Asked people like, what are the custom shop features that you think are most valuable? And pretty much everybody on there said just good classic things that Martin has done in the past that make guitars better. And this has all of them. Hide glue, thin finish, Addy top, Addy bracing, golden air bracing. It's all there. And it 100% looks like a very simple guitar, but there's like such a sound that comes out of this thing.
They're incredible. I mean, absolutely incredible guitars. You're going to hear it, don't worry. But I also do just in that vein want to call out the fact that there's no logo and it's the banjo tuners and stuff. For people that are collectors and love unique things and things that stand apart, I can't tell you how many guitar shows I've been to, and doing this for 11 years, how many different custom shops we've gotten in. These are really just kind of unique to what you typically would see. And I think it really sets them apart.
Yeah.
So
we'll take a listen.
So there you have it. From 1929, it is the Martin OM-28. Very cool guitars. I mean, extremely limited. 5 is pretty limited.
Yeah.
And
did you show the back on yours?
I think, yeah, I did.
That was one of my favorites.
This is really just, it's a beautiful piece. Just everything is fantastic on these guitars. I find them to be comfortable instruments on their own and just really special.
Nice and light.
Yeah, it's all of the things that, there's some exceptions, okay, because there's some dense hardwoods out there, but for the most part, I can kind of pick a guitar up out of the case and get an idea of the experience I'm about to have. Yep. And these do not disappoint. The one thing I did wonder about was, because when I played that one in the factory, it was like tuned up.
Yeah.
How these would be. This is not like some 21-to-1 ratio. They're banjo tuners after all, but this is great. I did the thing that you said. The first time I went to turn, I was like, well, that's the wrong way. And it's a 4-to-1 ratio, and you dialed it in pretty well.
Yeah, you can dial it in. They're really, really cool, and I'm so glad that, like, on paper, anybody could call out, like, oh, those would be cool. But, like, the sound that comes out, it's an incredible sound.
You also do some neat stuff playing on the fly if you are gifted in coordinated enough. There's some of those guys that like will bend the notes with banjo tuners while they're playing pieces. So that's pretty neat. But this is, I think, one of the quintessential Martins. I would be curious to see if Martin might be inspired to do something like this in their Authentic series, just because people love what, helped to create Martin into the guitar company it is today. And, I think this is right there. It's the first year of a classic model.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised that, it's not something that they do, but I'm very glad we got to do them.
Yeah, and it's cool if you go online and look up like 1929 Martin OM-28. Like there's some out there, nobody's selling them, but the pictures that you see, I mean, they're beaten and battered and old school, but it looks like this. It's really, really cool.
Yeah. If you want one of these beaten, battered, I can accommodate. But
no. We're gonna do journeyman finish on these things.
So we said there's 5. If you want more information, you should go to
alamomusic.com.
That website's also been around since 1929.
Yeah, but we luckily made some improvements.
You had to like crank the computer.
There's an adjustable truss rod in the website now, so you can adjust it. Go to our website, alamomusic.com. Look at the photos of these. Look at some of the other customs. If there's some more modern stuff in there, there's some more exotic stuff in there, but we have a very cool 1929 collection of very special guitars that are all limited, and they all mean a lot to us. And Martin helped get us where we're at to 95 years, as did this channel. It has let us grow quite a bit. So it's cool to have this whole celebration together. So celebrate with us if you can. Add these to your collection. If not, just drool alongside Cooper and I as we enjoy them for this limited time. But they're very, very special. So we've got more cool stuff that will continue to come. And if you like this kind of really cool guitar stuff, you should subscribe to our channel. You should turn on notifications so that you know when we do a new video. And drop us a comment and let us know what you think about these 1929 OM-28s. And hey, should we do something else that reaches way back into Martin's history to bring it back into the 21st and something that everyone can enjoy? So stuff for headstock. There you go. So thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.